Hello, everyone. So, I wanted to pop in and talk about something. I was journaling today during my morning routine, and some things came through, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to do a little journey update and talking a little bit about this morning routine. I've talked about it a little bit before, and I just started it last year, the end of last year, and I just wanted to share with you what it has given me so far, and just kind of share with you where I am right now and what I'm learning from it. And as always, I don't share these things with you because I want to think, oh wow, she's doing this or whatever, or because I want to tell you this is the best morning routine for you. I share these things with you because I want to inspire you to look at yourself, at your life, and sort of be inspired to find something that is right for you at that moment. So I woke up at 6 a.m. or I've been waking up at 6 a.m. For a few days now, and generally speaking, 6 a.m. is not that early. Hey, how are you? Generally speaking, of course, 6 o'clock is not that early. But right now I'm at the moment of my life where I don't have to run to a 9-to-5 job in the morning. I don't have to get up early. But I have been doing that because, I'm trying this new morning routine. You have to understand that generally, hi, so nice of you to join. Talking a little bit about a journey update where I am right now. So, generally, I am someone who tells myself all the time, I am not a morning person. I am the one who likes to sleep in. I like the comfort of my bed and everything. So I've been trying this morning routine, and one of the things that Hal Elrod, the Miracle Morning, he wrote this book, and that's how I came to this morning routine. He talks about how he always also thought of himself as not being a morning person. So I thought, okay, I can resonate with that. So I'm going to try this morning routine and see if I can start seeing any changes for me. And I've been doing it for about 20 days now, I think, in total. And I'm not perfect at it. I'm not I've missed a couple days here and there, like when I was on my trip and stuff. I didn't do all the steps that the morning routine includes, but I'm keeping up with it most of the time. And so I woke up at 6 a.m. and what I do, the way I do it now, I wake up at 6 a.m. and the first thing I do is I turn on a guided meditation, 6-phase meditation by Vishen Lakhiani. He is a creator of Mindvalley. Maybe you've heard of him. And so I turn on this meditation. It's about 20 minutes long, and it guides you through 6 steps that allow you to kind of, for one, the first step is you connect with the feeling of love and you expand that feeling in love. So you expand yourself. And it's such a great feeling in the morning to really connect with that, and start your day in this kind of, with that feeling of love, that feeling of positivity within yourself. And then you go through stages like forgiveness, gratitude stages that he guides you through. And then you visualize the future and you visualize your perfect day. And at the end, you ask for a blessing. So I have been doing this on and off, also this meditation. But now for my morning routine, I include that. So I do that, and then I go downstairs and get my kids out the door. Now, my kids are older, so they don't really need me, but it gives me something because I see them before they go to school, and it gives me something beautiful to look at and start my morning with. And when they're out of the door, and my husband is out of the door by 7, I go back to my desk. And what I do is I start journaling. And as I was journaling, some stuff came through. That's why I decided to share with you about this path. So what I've noticed this far, waking up at 6 a.m. has been much easier for me than normally. And I feel like I woke up at 6 a.m. today and I thought, yes, I'm giving myself time right now. I'm giving myself this time before the craziness of the day sort of steps in. I'm giving myself this time instead of stealing this time from myself and just sleeping through it. And I know it sounds kind of, yeah, of course, the 5 a.m. club and whatever is, there's so many different stories about it. But I really have a different feeling about waking up in the morning now since I've been doing this morning routine, because I started to notice how much it really gives me. Those 2 hours before I really have to get into my day and start, appointments and doing this and that and creating the household and whatever it is that you need to do, or working on your projects, before I start all of that, it really gives me time for myself, time where I don't have to feel guilty about anything, and I don't, it's just it's become a very important time for me. And for someone who always says I'm not a morning person, this is a big win for me already, after only doing it for a short time. So I absolutely enjoy that. And another thing that I added to my morning routine is a morning run or a brisk walk. Both of them work. Do I think if this morning routine adds more structure to the day? Absolutely. I'm going to get into that in a minute, because when I journal, what I also do, for instance, I will write down what's my main task for the day. What is one thing that I absolutely have to accomplish today? So I kind of go through that in my head, and I can already structure my day a little bit. I'm very intuitive, and I've never been one for goals or plans. That's another I never am. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a goal person or plan person. I've always been very intuitive and kind of let come what it comes. But I'm bringing more structure into my day. By the way, I'm North Node Virgo in the 3rd house. And what I found out, I'm not an astrologer, but what I found out, my thing in this lifetime is to bring the spiritual, which I guess I bring from my past life, this very spiritual, kind of disconnected from the world, as I bring that from the past life. And in this life, my lesson that I'm supposed to learn or bring about is bringing that spiritual and connecting it to the more practical. So I have to bring that together into the practical world, sort of say. So I'm working on that. And this morning routine has been really, really helping me. Another thing, like I said, I added the morning run. Hall was talking in his book about how he's also not a runner, and he never liked that, but how when you get out in the morning and you get that fresh air, first thing, or almost first thing in the morning, and you get that fresh air in your system, it just wakes up your body. And of course, if you're doing light cardio with it, it wakes up all your cells, and you feel really energized and excited for the rest of your day, So I really, from the first time I tried it in the morning, I was like, wow, it really did make a difference for me. Again, something that I never used to do. So this morning routine is opening me up to changing things. One thing that I wrote as I was journaling is, let me see if I can find it. I'm going to show up for myself differently, because I know that if I continue to do things the way I've always done, then I will not progress. So my goal this year, for instance, is to keep expanding, to keep trying new things, to keep moving forward. And it's not always going to be consistent, and some days you will have time. You will have days when you need to take some time for yourself. We want to stay in the flow, and want to give ourselves that love and compassion that we need. But for most of the days, I'm going to stick to this routine because it really is giving me so much. I was journaling and writing things down. So like I said, I'm not telling you all this to make you feel like, oh, wow, she's doing that, or this isn't about me. It's also not about this particular morning routine that I'm doing. It's just about inspire you to find something that works for you. Because if you look at your life right now and you feel like you're not quite there where you want to be, maybe, or maybe just in certain areas of your life, or maybe you just want to expand. Maybe you're happy where you are, but we always want to grow in some way, right? So if you're not quite there yet, or you want to improve some things in your life, then look at what you can change. And I'm not talking about like if it's your professional life or your relationships. I'm not talking that go and change something in your professional life. I'm talking about you can start small. I mean, if you're up for it and you know what you need to change, go for it. Just go for it. If you don't try, you will never know where it's going to take you. But what I'm talking about is if you always pick up the coffee mug with the right hand, be conscious about and pick it up with the left hand today. Because what it does is it starts to ignite the other parts of your brain that you don't usually use. We do a lot of things sort of on autopilot, right? And because we do them on autopilot, it's always the same part of your brain that always is responsible for that autopilot part of your of your actions. So I'm encourage you to kind of become conscious of what you do, even small daily tasks, and switching that off a little bit and starting to use your different hand for things. Or if you always go left when you go to work, but you can also go right, maybe go right this time, take a different route, try different things. You open yourself up with that tactic to trying more new things. And without without trying new things, we can never move forward, right? So I'm here to just inspire you and encourage you to do just that. I know it gives me a lot, and if it doesn't resonate with you, you have to find what works for you. I'm just sharing with you what works for me. So, and I'm always very intuitive about how I live my life. So I try to listen to messages that come in and try to listen to my body. So today, without planning it, of course, I'm here live without planning it in advance, because it just came through. And I always think that inspired action is the best action that we can take. So when I feel inspired, I go for it and I share. Let's see. I think I got pretty much everything I wanted to say. It's all about trying new things. The morning routine, like I said, I start with that meditation. And part of this morning routine steps is silence or meditation. It doesn't have to be complete silence. You can do guided meditation. The second one is affirmations. And I usually write my affirmations when I journal. I'll have an affirmation for the day that comes through for me intuitively. And today was, I'm going to show up for myself differently, because I know that only if I do things different, I can expect different results. If I continue to do things the way I always done, then I know I'm not going to progress. I'm going to stay where I am. And there's nothing wrong with being where you are, but I think I'm a lifelong learner. I'm always about learning and expanding, and just moving forward in life. And I think that no matter like what gurus are out there, no matter how many books you've read, no matter how many courses you've visited, no matter how much you've already learned in your life, and I mean, there is some gurus out there who are amazing, and you watch them and you think, wow, they're there. But I don't think we're ever there. It's because it's not about that destination. It's about the journey and enjoying the journey. And I really enjoy this part of my journey right now, this morning routine and what it gives me. And like I said, I'm not perfect at it. Not every day is gonna happen the way I planned, and sometimes things come up. It's life, so we have to also be able to stay in the flow. I'm not about being rigid. I'm about staying in the flow, listening to your body, listening to your day, and moving with it. But I find it very interesting that now, as I started planning my day a little bit more through journaling, and I journal. My journaling has become more intentional. I journal my feelings. Sometimes it's very poetic and sometimes it's very practical. But I do always make it a point to journal about my day, like what is my plan for the day? Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention. I also love, there is a a morning routine type of thing from Mel Robbins. And you can find that on YouTube. And she talks about her way of doing a morning routine. One thing that I really liked, or many things I liked about it, but one thing that I picked up, and I use that in my morning routine when I start to journal, is I ask myself, in one word, how do I feel today? And I think that's such a powerful question, because sometimes when I ask that question, I think I feel a little anxious. And maybe it's because I have appointments, or maybe because there's a lot of things that I have to accomplish today. So when I feel that, I ask myself, so, okay, why are you feeling anxious right now? And then I write down, maybe it's a list, or maybe it's a plan, like what do I absolutely have to accomplish today? So when I'm done with all my morning routine, what I do then is I go for the most important things. If I can, if it's not an appointment that has to do with time later, I try to go for it and get those things done, because then my mind is free for the rest of the day and I can go through things that are important to me. Another thing that is sort of new to me that also came through with this morning routine was somehow magically becoming more organized, I think. I created 2 plans. One of them I kind of took over from my sister. It's a household plan, because I want to make sure that while I'm doing a lot of different tasks as a mom and everything, that I also stay, of course, on the important household things. So that just helps me to keep everything in mind, so that you kind of have the feeling that you've done all parts of your day kind of, and took all the things that are important to you in that day. And another very important thing that I just did a couple of days ago is a deep work schedule. Deep work probably says something to most of you. It's just the time of the day that you take, an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, depending on how much time you have that day, and you use that to do deep work on projects that are meaningful to you. Like if I want to progress in my coaching stuff, I'm working on my website, or card readings that I want to get out there. So I created a deep work schedule. And am I going to always rigidly stick to it? No, of course not, because it's life. But I have a general idea of what I want to accomplish this week and how I want to accomplish it. So I can move things around and kind of still stay in the flow, but I have a deep work schedule that keeps that sort of, keeps it in my vision, so that I always have that in my focus somewhere. And the whole point of the morning routine for me, I think, and Hal was also talking about it, is about how you go to bed. Like when you go to bed, if you look at your day, do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel like you've accomplished a lot today, or you've gotten those important things done, or you moved forward on some things that you really wanted to move forward on? And it's all about just this feeling of going to bed and looking at your day and feeling accomplished. And the morning routine has allowed me to bring more of that into my day. And it's amazing, these 2 hours that I just bring into my life that I used to just sleep through. And like I said, I love to sleep in and I love to cuddle in my bed. It's all good. And I will still do that on occasion. You always have to have cheat days. And sorry, my dog is barking. Yeah, he's somebody's at the door. Anyway, yeah, but I really won this time for myself, and I really enjoy that. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. That's the journey update. Everyone who's joined, really lovely to see you. And if you have any thoughts you want to share, please share it in the comments below. And if you like what you hear, make sure to follow and share. And I will be talking to you soon. Lovely to see you all. Have a good day. Bye-bye.